The ceasefire has begun, but the war over the narrative has just started. Pro-Palestinians are trying to downplay Hamas's crimes. Here are the testimonies from the victims and from the attackers. Let's start with the story of Amit, who had the courage to speak about what she went through as a hostage in Gaza.
His name was Muhammad. He used to sit on the bed in front of me, wearing his shorts, laying down. I remember I couldn't look at him. I was just like looking away and covering myself with the blanket so I won't have to look at him. It made me feel really uncomfortable. He also kept asking me, do I like sex? Do I have sex with my boyfriend? And whenever he talked about it, I just like giggled and say, oh, come on, stop, trying to change the subject. I knew that he's up to something. I knew that something bad is gonna happen. So one day, Muhammad came and gave me women's sanitary pads. He said, dam. When you get your period, after that, you'll take a shower and you'll wash your clothes. And he kept repeating that every couple of times a day. That immediately made me feel creepy. I felt really scared, like I knew that something is about to happen. And the period was just for one day, but I fooled him to think that the period is continuing. So I remember going to the toilet, folding the pads really tight so he won't see that there's no blood. So I did it for about a week until I could not lie anymore. And he said, oh, come on, go take a shower. I told him, no, I don't want to. The water is cold. I don't want to take a shower. Please, I don't want to take a shower. And he said, no, don't worry. Don't worry. He untied me and took me to the kitchen and showed me a pot sitting on the stove. And I remember thinking, Amit, now is the moment. Something, what you thought about is going to happen. I bent down in the bathtub like this so I could like cover myself up, taking the warm water from the pot and like put it in over my head. And for 1 second, I completely forgot about everything. I just really enjoyed the warm water on my face. And then I remember hearing him saying, quickly, Amit, quickly. And then I remember I turned around. He was standing with his gun, and the gun was pointed out at me, and he was huffing and breathing heavily, and he had a face like a monster, like a beast, like this. So I stood up and held a blanket, the small blanket, to cover myself, and he came towards me and just pointed the gun really hard at my forehead, screaming at me, take it off, and punching me until I could not hold the towel anymore. And he started touching me, and I resisted. And then he dragged me to the bedroom. And then he forced me to commit a sexual act on him. And I remember the entire time I was like thinking, Amit, okay, you knew it's gonna happen. It's really happening. I said to myself, okay, you can handle this. You just want to survive. You need to survive. Your mom, your family is waiting. I just concentrated on that instead of what's really going on. And when he was finished, he went to clean himself up. I got dressed, covered myself up, and I was crying. He came in and he told me, I'm good, Amit, right? I'm good? No, I'm no good. No, I'm good. I'm your friend, right? I remember I could not look at him. I looked away. And then he got really mad. He closed the door, and I was in that room in complete darkness. Then he came in again and asked me, food? I'm good, right? I'm good. Food? And I realized that if I say no, he's gonna punish me again. So I said, yeah, food. And that's the worst part. That I'm completely dependent on him, completely dependent on the guy who just forced me to do what he forced me to do.
الله أكبر 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 الله أكبر
شو بيقدروا يعاقبوا مع النسوان يخطفوهم؟
بقول لك يمكن زنا، اغتصاب، اعتداء، تحقيق، كل واحد له فكرة. زنوا اعتدوا عليها، الأطفال يمكن زنوا فيهم، خطفوهم، اعتدوا عليهم، قتلوهم.
ليش بدهم يسووا
يتوسخ معهم. ايش يعني؟
شو معنى يتوسخ؟ احكي.
بديش احكي يعني انا
احكي للبنات يعني، مزبوط. شو بدهم يسووا؟
يوسخوا فيهم يعني ينيلوهم يعني.
طلع حماس وطلع داعش، ايش بيناتهم؟ يعني شو الفرق بين الحماس وداعش؟
من الكلام يعني اللي بيقول انه تقطيع الروس والاطفال والحرب والهذا، انه صارت حماس داعش. يعني حماس صارت داعش، انه داعش تحرق هي وبتقطع وبتذبح. يعني صارت من حماس اشي اسمه داعش هلقي.
يعني ليش صار؟
يشكي مخ، يعني بطل بني ادمين
اللي سووا ايش؟
بس صاروا حيوانات. يعني هذا العمل ما بيعملش كبني ادم، انه قطع راس بني ادم او اسري واحد جثه انه سبيه وميته واعمل فيها واذي فيها وهي جثه. يعني مش بني ادم بيعمل الشغلات اللي زي هيك.
يملوها.
يملوها يعني.
עשו על זה שכופפו בישי, ובעצם אני מבינה שהוא אנס אותה, הוא בעצם משנע אותה. כאילו, ממש אני זוכרת את התנועה הזאת. ואז מעבירים אותה לעוד מישהו.
היא הייתה בחיים, הבחורה שהם אנסו?
כן. היא הייתה בחיים.
עמדה על הרגליים?
היא עמדה על הרגליים, היא דיממה מהגב. אני לא יודעת מה היא הייתה. שהוא מושך לה בשיער, היה לה שיער ארוך, הוא מושך לה בשיער. הוא כאילו... היא לא לבושה, והוא חותך לה את השד. הוא חותך לה את השד, הוא זורק את זה על הכביש, הם משחקים עם זה, והיא כאילו הולכת כזה ככה עם הראש.
Two of my friends were here. One was here. We were on the ground, and my head was here. I was like that for 7 hours. My legs were bended like that, and while I was here, I could hear the screams, and after 1 hour that we were in the trailer, I started to hear yelling of women. I heard a girl that started to yell for a long time. It was like, please don't, no, stop. No. It was like she was asking someone to stop. What can they stop? Someone is abusing her, someone touching her, someone is doing something. How do you know that? Or why do you think that? I know how it sounds. Like, I can understand how it sounds. There's no way that women will scream that loud for so long if it's not for asking for help because someone is doing something sexually to her. So when I hear like someone scream and then silence, I knew that it's probably someone got shot. But when you hear this chaos for like 20 minutes or 15 minutes, you understand that something much worse happening right over there. And it doesn't stop. That was the time when I started to be afraid I'm going to be raped. And then I'm starting to calculate what is worse, to get kidnapped or to be raped or to get shot. What's worse? What's better? I heard the girls who were yelling came from this side and also from this side. It like surrounded me. There were so many noises of women, different women, not only one. I also heard a couple. She didn't say words, like she was just screaming, and he begged for someone to leave her. I remembered that he said, "Azov ota, leave her alone." The guy was crying. I heard him, and for a long time.
And how did it end? How did the screaming end in these cases?
They got shot, and then silence. When I got out, I saw so many bodies. Their shirts were ripped off, and girls without skirts, without pants, that their legs were spreaded. They were abused. The bodies were abused.
زي إذا بتقول ساعدني من هيك هنا حبيت هرمت على الكنب. البنت شعرها مش طويل كثير عادي يعني، ووجهها ملامحه رفيعة وهي رفيعة، وفي رقبتها سنتال مجوهرة وزي هيك يعني. شو كانت لابسة؟ كانت لابسة تنورة زرقاء وبلوزة بيضة. عملت الحين الشيطان غواني وأخذتها هيك نيمتها وشدحت العين وعملت اللي عملته. نمت معها.
ما نمت هذا النوم، انت ما نمت معها، شو عملت؟
اغتصبتها. هي قاعدة تدفش في حالها، ولما بعد ما طولش الوضع يعني.
המנעול שלו קרוע מהדף, הדלת מלאה בכדורים, מיד בצמוד לדלת שתי נשים, אמא ובת, יריות. בחדר ממול בחורה כבת 19, מכנסיים מופשלות. עכשיו תגידו לי, אם כשהחליטו משפחה להיכנס לממד, נכנסו רק אמא ובת אחת, ובת אחת השאירו בלי מכנסיים בחדר ליד. תגידו לי, אין לי תמונה של מה שקרה שם. מישהו יכול לספר לי סיפור אחר מהסיפור הזה?
Most of the horrors will never be known. What we do know is just a small fraction. Small but incredibly important. It is so painful that it is easy to repress it, to make excuses. Maybe it was just madness for a few days, an isolated incident, but no, it wasn't. I want to tell you another story, one you probably haven't heard. A small story about a girl in a long war, but it reveals something deeply evil. The girl's name is Fawzia Amin Sido, a Yazidi from Iraq. She was kidnapped by ISIS when she was 10 years old, sold to several Muslim men until eventually she was sold to a Palestinian man in Syria. By the age of 15, she had given birth to 2 children. After her husband died, she was taken through Egypt to Gaza. In Gaza, her husband and his family abused her too. She somehow managed to contact an Israeli, and with the help of a Canadian Jew named Steve Maman, who has rescued over 100 Christian and Yazidi children, the IDF, Israeli army, located her and saved her from the Palestinians. She was brought back to Iraq and after 10 years as a slave, reunited with her family. Neither the Gazans nor the Palestinian Authority ever condemned this brutality because they stand behind it. Not just the institution. The overwhelming majority of Palestinians celebrated what happened on October 7th. People in the West struggle to understand that, and rightly so, but that is the reality. For those who want to go deeper, I highly recommend the documentary Screams Before Silence, where Amit and Tali's testimonies came from. Watch the full film. I will link it below. And for anyone who wants to help the victims, I will leave a link to the Nova Community Foundation, which supports all survivors of the Music and Love Festival that became the worst site of terror and sexual violence Israel has ever known. Please share this video and subscribe to the channel. The next video will focus on where I was wrong, the biggest mistake I did over the past 2 years. See you soon. Yalla bye.